The hospital room was unusually quiet for a space typically filled with beeping monitors, soft footsteps, and whispered conversations. Outside, the world was in a frenzy, fans refreshing social media every second, blogs speculating wildly, and cameras stationed around every entrance. But inside, it was just Cardi B, Stefon Diggs, and their tiny newborn son wrapped delicately in a soft blue blanket. For the first time in months of chaos, rumors, pressure, and emotional turbulence, the world felt still. Cardi stared at their baby boy with a mixture of disbelief and adoration, her eyes glossy with exhaustion and overwhelming love. This little life, who had already been the center of countless headlines before even taking his first breath, now lay peacefully in her arms, innocent, fragile, and unaware of the storm his existence had caused. Stefon stood beside her, his expression tender, protective, and uncharacteristically calm. This was not the confident, fearless athlete fans were used to seeing on the field. This was a man humbled by fatherhood. But one question remained unresolved. The name. For weeks, they had gone back and forth. Cardi wanted something bold, unique, unforgettable, a name that carried power and legacy. Stef wanted something meaningful, rooted in emotion, something that told a story greater than fame. And as silence settled between them, Stef finally spoke. "I know what his name should be." His voice was soft but firm, like someone who had been carrying this decision in his heart for a long time. Cardi looked up at him, surprised. "You sure? Like for real for real?" "Not no last-minute NFL locker room decision," she teased weakly, trying to mask the nervous flutter in her chest. He smiled. "This ain't just a name, Cardi. This is his identity. His future. Our legacy." He reached out and gently brushed his finger across the baby's tiny cheek, his eyes shining. "I want to name him Amari Legacy Diggs." The room fell silent. For a moment, time seemed to freeze. Cardi's emotional collapse. The name echoed in her mind like poetry. Amari. Legacy. It wasn't just beautiful, it was powerful. Soft yet strong. Modern yet timeless. A name that sounded like royalty and resilience all at once. Cardi's lips trembled. "Legacy?" she whispered, her voice cracking. "You really put Legacy as his middle name?" Stef nodded slowly. "Because he's our promise. Our new beginning. Everything we've been through, the chaos, the madness, the pain, the love, he represents what we survived. He's our legacy, Cardi." And in that moment, the walls Cardi had built for so long completely shattered. Tears streamed down her face, unstoppable, raw, unfiltered. The same woman who once dominated stages with unapologetic fire now sobbed like a mother overwhelmed by the weight of love and meaning. "Oh my God. Stef." She cried, clutching the baby closer. "You gon' make me ugly cry like this? This name, it's so perfect." She buried her face into the blanket, trembling. "Nobody ever thought about my child like this, not like this. You gave him a future in his name. A name that changed everything." Stef leaned closer, his forehead touching hers. "I want him to grow knowing he was created from love, not noise. From purpose, not drama. Amari means strength, grace, and eternal power. That's who he is. That's who he gonna be." Cardi looked down at her son, whispering his name again and again, as if memorizing it into her soul. "Amari, mommy's blessing, my little king." A nurse entering the room paused in awe at the tender moment unfolding before her. Even she later admitted to other staff that she had never seen Cardi be so vulnerable. Fans react as news leaks online. When reports of the name began circulating online, social media absolutely erupted. "Amari. Legacy Diggs. That's beautiful," loudly crying face. "Stef really did that, OMG Cardi crying. I feel it. That name sounds like a future legend FR. Hashtags began trending within minutes. Hashtag Amari Legacy. Hashtag Cardi B Diggs Baby. Hashtag Legacy Born. Some fans even said the name changed their perception of the entire relationship. What once seemed chaotic now suddenly felt grounded, emotional, and real. Cardi's emotional confession. Later that night, Cardi took to her private journal, writing through tears. Today, I realized love don't always gotta be loud. Sometimes it's soft. Sometimes it's a name that heals your soul. Amari Legacy Diggs, you already changed me, baby. Mommy promised to protect you forever. Stef, watching her from the corner of the room, knew he had made the right decision. The name wasn't just for a baby. It was for their healing. Their redemption. Their future. A new chapter begins. As the moonlight filtered through the hospital window and their son finally drifted into a gentle sleep, Cardi whispered softly. Welcome to the world, Amari Legacy Diggs, you already got the strongest story, my love. And for the first time in a long time, happiness didn't feel forced. It felt earned. It felt real. It felt eternal. Cardi B reduced to tears after Stefan Diggs decides lovely name for their baby boy, a heart-melting moment that left fans in awe. It was meant to be a quiet evening, one of those rare, fragile moments of calm in a world constantly buzzing with flashing cameras, gossip, and speculation. But inside the softly lit nursery of their lavish home, something profoundly emotional was about to happen, a moment so pure, so tender, that it would leave Cardi B in uncontrollable tears and send waves of emotion through their entire fanbase. Since welcoming their baby boy into the world, Cardi B and Stefan Diggs had been carefully navigating the beautiful chaos of new parenthood. Sleepless nights, gentle lullabies, whispered prayers, and endless stares at their precious son had already bonded them tighter than ever. But one thing still remained unfinished, choosing a name that truly embodied the soul they felt their son carried. For days, they had gone back and forth. Cardi suggested bold, powerful names that reflected strength and legacy. Stefan gravitated towards something soft yet meaningful. They both wanted perfection, not just a name, but a destiny wrapped in syllables. That evening, Stef asked Cardi to sit beside him on the plush nursery couch. The baby slept peacefully in his arms, tiny fingers curled against his father's chest. His voice was unusually soft, trembling slightly as he spoke. Belcalis. I've been thinking, he began, eyes locked on their son. About everything we've been through. The storms, the love, the healing, and the miracle that brought him here. Cardi smiled, unaware that her heart was about to shatter into pure emotion. There's a name I keep coming back to, Stef continued. A name that means light, blessing, and new beginning. A name that sounds gentle, but carries power. He paused, taking a deep breath. His name should be Elijah Rain Diggs. The room froze. Cardi's hands flew to her mouth as tears instantly welled in her eyes. Elijah Rain, she whispered, the name rolling off her lips like a sacred hymn. Stef nodded slowly. Elijah, because he's our miracle. Rain, because no matter what life throws at him, he will stand strong and rule his own world with kindness, faith, and greatness. And that was it. Cardi completely broke down. Tears streamed down her face as her shoulders shook with overwhelming emotion. She reached out, touching their son's cheek, her voice trembling. That's beautiful, baby, that's perfect, that's our son. The moment became too powerful to contain. She collapsed into Stef's chest, sobbing not from pain, but from love so intense it almost hurt. Years of struggles, heartbreak, public trials, and whispered doubts suddenly melted away in that single name. Elijah Rain. A name that felt like poetry. A name that sounded like destiny. Behind the scenes, even those close to the couple said the atmosphere felt surreal. One family friend reportedly said, "It wasn't about fame or cameras in that moment. It was just two people in love, holding their miracle, crying over a name that felt like a blessing sent straight from heaven." When whispers of the emotional naming moment hit social media, fans erupted with tears and admiration. Speech balloon, Elijah Rain. That name is royal. Speech balloon, Stef really poured his soul into that. Speech balloon, you could feel the love through the screen. Speech balloon, Cardi crying tells you everything. Even hardened critics couldn't deny the sincerity of the moment. The couple who once faced endless rumors and doubt now stood united, bound not just by love, but by the life they created together. Later that night, Cardi shared a heartfelt post to close friends. Sometimes God gives you a moment so pure, you realize every pain before it was just preparation for joy. Our baby boy has a name that feels like heaven touched earth. Thank you, my love, for choosing something so beautiful. Stefan simply responded with a quiet kiss on her forehead and whispered. He's our legacy, Cardi. Our light. Our Elijah Rain. And in that hush, filled only with soft breathing and gentle baby snores, the world stopped, because love had spoken, and it had chosen a name that would echo forever.
머물다 보면 어느새 제주 행비행 신비한 세계로 나를 이끌고 거짓말처럼 하늘을 날며 어느새 제주 바다가 내게로 와 아래를 쳐다보고 있겠지. 묘한 짜릿함 그 속에 머물다 보면 어느새 제주 행비행 신비한 세계로 나를 이끌고 거짓말처럼 하늘을 날며 어느새 제주 바다가 내게로 와 있네. 있어. 아래엔 간혹 도시가 보이곤 해. 그 도시에는 또 다른 내가 하늘에 떠가는 비행기를 올려다보고 있겠지. 난 하늘 쳐다보고 있겠지. 묘한 짜릿함 그 속에 머물다 보면 어느새 제주행 비행 신비한 세계로 나를 이끌고 거짓말처럼